Hare Krishna everyone. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. Let's start with the Radha Madhav. Jai Radha Madhava Jai Kunj Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Jai Kunj Bihari Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Jai Giravardhari Shodanandan Vraj Jana Ranjana Shodanandan Vraj Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Jai Radha Madhava Jayo Kunj Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Ajnatimirandhasya Gyan Anjana Shalakya Chakshuranmritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadameyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatham Tam Sajivam Sadhvetam Savadhotam Krishna Setam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhamritam Scha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kant Radha Kant Namastute Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sutadevi Pranmami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpato Brihescha Kirpa Sindhuvevacha Patitana Pavnebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Nama Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pasthaya Bhutale Śrīmad Bhaktivedanta Swami Tinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasti Go Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Mukham Kroti Vachalam Pangam Langyate Girim Yat Kirpatam Vandeshi Guruntin Taranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaneshram Hariyam Tassat Narayan Namaskritya Naram Cheva Narottamam Devim Sasvitim Vyasam Tato Jamaduriyam Nashta Presha Abduresho Nityam Bhavasya Bhavati Uttam Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Neshtaki
મને નથી ખબર હું
Hare Krishna Jai. So once again, thank you for joining. So last time we were discussing about the 10 offenses. We went through the 10 offenses to avoid to the holy name, 10 offenses to the holy name. And then we've also saying that Krishna is Atmaram, is self-satisfied, but we should not be self-satisfied because we are servant of Krishna. We have to satisfy our satisfaction should be in the satisfaction of Krishna. So we should be Krishna satisfied. Krishna is self-satisfied, we should be Krishna satisfied. And we're talking about how knowledge is given by a spiritual master, including Lord Narayan. He gave knowledge to Lord Brahma. Lord Narayan was his mother, he was his father, and his guru as well. There's no one else. He was the first creature they describe. And all the knowledge was given in the heart to Lord Brahma. So saying, Divya Gyan Hriday Prakashito. This is what the Guru does. He gives Divya Gyan into the heart. So, it's realized knowledge that you can use practically. And then we also said that when we are approaching a spiritual master, we should not be in a challenging mood or trying to, pick out some mistake or something. Should be in a humble, submissive mood. The inquiry should be made, and then take instructions from the spiritual master, follow the instructions. Srila Prabhupada given so many instructions in the scriptures, how we should do a bhakti. We follow those instructions, his Vani, then naturally we'll get the mercy as well. Mercy comes, it trickles down slowly, but ye yathamam prapadante comes all from Krishna. So it depends on our speed as well. How much we do, the mercy will come accordingly. On our tapasya, how much tapasya are we doing? What is our tapasya? Following the 4 regulations, following Ekadashi, doing our chanting, minimum 16 rounds if possible. Especially if you initiated, then you have to do a minimum of 16. We take a vow to do 16 rounds. So it is all tapasya. By tapasya, you get the mercy. Lord Brahma, once again, what was the first 2 words he heard? Tap, and he realized he has to do some tapasya if he wants anything. So he went and didn't those times, but for meditation. So he meditated on Lord Hari, and he got the mercy. So tapasya, very important. This we're getting together in the morning to do these sessions of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. That is also tapasya, because you're making time and effort, your energy utilized, your hearing utilized. That is also tapasya. So everything we're doing, tapasya, especially in this Purushottam month, it's been multiplied by 1,000 times of a Kartik month. So just imagine if Kartik month is, sometimes they say 100 times, some services 100 times, some services multiply 1,000 times. So 100 times 1,000, like 100,000 times. It's a beautiful concept, but that does not mean that we only do, we only try hard. We only do the tapasya in Kartik or Purushottam month. We gain momentum from them. We launch ourselves, but then we stay at that speed. We don't go down. Just use that as a momentum, as a catapult, and then keep going. Do not stop. Use your emotions. If you cannot use your time because you don't have any more time to give. Krishna, I'm doing everything I can. What else can I do? I don't have any more time to give. Then give me your emotions. Just do what you're doing, with more intensity. Krishna will be happy with that. Make it intense. And then keep that intensity. Don't lose it. Like I said, it's a launching pad. Keep that intensity. Keep it going. So thank you so much. Let's go to verse 12. Hare Krishna. Kim pramatasya bahubaihi praksher hayaner iha varam muhuratam viditam gahatate shriyase yataha. So Kim, what is? Pramatasya, of the bewildered, Bahubahi, by many, Parokshahi in experience, ha ya nahi, yes, iha in this world, varam beta, muhuratam, a moment, viditam, conscious, gahatate, one can try for, shreyase, in the matter of the supreme interest, yatha, by that. So, what is the value of a prolonged life which is wasted, inexperienced by years in this world? Better a moment of full consciousness, because that gives one a start in searching after his supreme interest. So, it doesn't matter how long you live, 100, you get a card from, used to be the queen, now the king. What is the point if you didn't use that body, human body, for what the purpose it was really meant for? Srila Shukadeva Goswami instructed Maharaj Parikshit about the importance of the chanting of the holy name of the Lord by every progressive gentleman in order to encourage the king, who had only 7 remaining days of life. Srila Shukadeva Goswami asserted that there is no use in living hundreds of years without any knowledge of the problems of life. Better to live for a moment with full consciousness of the supreme interest to be fulfilled. The supreme interest of life is eternal, with full knowledge and bliss. Because we are not this body, we are not meant to be this body only. This body is given to us for a purpose. It's not there so we can just enjoy our senses. Here you go, I'll give you this body, you can enjoy your senses, and you can enjoy them in a sophisticated way to the animals. No, it's given for a purpose, and if we don't fulfill that purpose, then body is wasted. Those who are bewildered by the external features of the material world and are engaged in the animal propensities of the eat, drink, and be merry type of life are simply wasting their lives by the unseen passing away of valuable years. Because you might as well have an animal body. Why have a human body? Then you wouldn't have to go to work or anything, and do anything. We should now, in perfect consciousness, that human life is bestowed upon the conditioned soul to achieve spiritual success. And the easiest possible procedure to attain this end is to chant the holy name of the Lord. In the previous verse, we have discussed this point to a certain extent, and we may further be enlightened on the different types of offences committed onto the feet of the holy name. Srila Jiva Goswami Prabhu has quoted many passages from authentic scriptures and has ably supported the statements in the matter of offences at the feet of the holy name. From Vishnu Yamal Tantra, Srila Jiva Goswami has proven that one can be liberated from the effects of all sins simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord. Quoting from Markandeya Puran, Sri Goswami Ji says that one should neither blaspheme the devotee of the Lord nor indulge in hearing others who are engaged in belittling a devotee of the Lord. So you have to be very careful with that. And it's so easy when somebody comes to you and says that, oh, so and so devotee, so and so Maharaj, he said this to me, he upset me. So naturally, because we have affiliation with this person who's telling you, we feel for them, we feel that somebody hurt them, and we feel for them, and we can end up saying, blaspheming, a sannyasi, especially a sannyasi, or another devotee, which I think we have to restrain ourselves from doing that. We can be compassionate, but without blaspheming the devotee. It's so easily done, and I am all guilty. And then I think, now I shouldn't have made those comments. But you're feeling at the time that this person has hurt my friend, But you have to be very careful. You have to be a bit more, wise when we think something or when we say something. So, here we are. Shri Goswami ji said that one should neither blaspheme a devotee of the Lord nor indulge in hearing others who are engaged in belittling a devotee of the Lord. So we have to stop them, belittling. A devotee should try to restrict the vilifier by cutting out his. Well, don't go to that extent. This is just a metaphor. And being unable to do so, one should commit suicide, and you don't do that either, rather than hear the blaspheming of the devotee of the Lord. So we have to understand that Srila Prabhupada has put this in. It's not literal, right? Remember that. You don't cut out anybody's tongue, you get arrested, and you don't commit suicide, because that is, one, is illegal, and secondly, it's illegal in God's eyes as well. You do not, kill your body. You need it to go back home. So this is just, just to give just to show the seriousness of the problem. When somebody is blaspheming, so just a metaphor to show that it's very serious. You should take it very seriously. That do not join in with somebody who's blaspheming a devotee. Don't join in that. And I think I need to remind myself constantly of that as well, because it's very easily done. The conclusion is that one should neither hear nor allow vilification of devotee of the Lord, as far as distinguishing the Lord's holy name from the names of the demigods. The revealed scriptures disclose that all extraordinarily powerful beings are but parts and parcels of the supreme energetic Lord Krishna. So except for the Lord himself, everyone is subordinate. No one is independent of the Lord, since no one is more powerful than or equal to the energy of the Supreme Lord. No one's name can be as powerful as that of the Lord. By chanting the Lord's holy name, one can derive all the stipulated energy synchronized from all sources. Therefore, one should not equalize the supreme holy name of the Lord with any other name. So Brahma, Shiva, or any other powerful god can never be equal to the Supreme Lord Vishnu. So that's the second offense. Don't think that Brahma and Shiva are equal to or independent of the name of Lord Vishnu. The powerful holy name of the Lord can certainly deliver one from sinful effects, but one who desires to utilize this transcendental potency of the holy name of the Lord in one's sinister activities is the most degraded person in the world. So that's 7. But one who desires to utilize this transcendental potency of the holy name of the Lord in one's sinister activity. So that's committing sinful activities on the strength of the holy name. Such persons are never excused by the Lord or by any agent of the Lord. One should therefore utilize one's life in glorifying the Lord by all means, without any offense. Such activity of life, even for a moment, is never to be compared to a prolonged life of ignorance. Like the lives of the tree and other living entities who may live for thousands of years without prosecuting spiritual advancement. So I was saying that we are emotional creatures, and we, due to emotion, we can act or we can speak in ways that are driven by that emotion. So we have to be very careful that we keep watch our Begum, have to control the tongue, what we say, and we have to control our emotions as well. Emotions get out of control so easily, so we have to control the emotions, and so use those emotions in service of the Lord, instead of using the emotions to blaspheme someone, or saying something unnecessary, saying more than necessary. And like I say, it's so easily done, but words can be more sharper than the knife, right? The knife may recover, but no, people don't recover from any words that you said. And we know that ourselves. at times suddenly these thoughts come to our mind that somebody said this to me. 10 years later, 20 years later, 30 years later, they still come. So the knife wound will have recovered, but you don't recover from somebody just mouthed something to you, irrelevant, unnecessary, but that will haunt you for the rest of your life. But same way, when we say something to someone, it's doing the same. They might not react at the time. They might be more controlled in their reactions, in the face changes, but you have hurt them, and they will probably carry that statement throughout their life. So we have to be very careful what we say to people. Very, very important that we control our speech when we're speaking. And just send this to myself as well. So the powerful holy name of the Lord can certainly deliver one from sinful effects. So I think we've read this, and let's see if we have anything on this. 12. So Maharaj Parikshit was concerned that he only had 7 days to live. Shukadeva Goswami explained what is the point of even 700 years of life. Never mind 7 days. Even if you had 700 years of life, if you don't use those years with full consciousness. So he's preparing Maharaj Parikshit that don't worry. These 7 days could be the most important days of your life. Even though Maharaj Parikshit is a great devotee, so it's an example for us that even a moment, a Katvanga moment, can be great if you use it correctly. So it's not having a lot of time on your hands, having a long life. It's what you do with it is most important. So he's saying, if you don't use those years with full consciousness, to convince people of chanting, we need to show them the value of benefits of chanting. Srila Prabhupada, just like Shukadeva Goswami, was encouraging, not discouraging. Human life is bestowed as a benediction upon us. By chanting the holy name, all sins can be destroyed. We have to make sure we don't commit the 10 offenses and do sense gratification. So if you want good chanting, we have to be careful we don't commit any of those offenses. First one being the one we're discussing, to blaspheme the devotees of the Lord who have dedicated their lives in the service of the Lord. So very, very careful we don't blaspheme anyone. So we have the right and full freedom to select the environment and association that encourages. So now we keep the right association, empowers and allows us to please the Lord and Vaishnavas. So we have to associate with the right people. Holy name is the one-stop shop for every benefit we need. Further, the chanting burns all the material desires. Only this process can give love of Krishna. So there's a lot of emphasis given to chanting of the holy name. Wonderful. So let's go on to 13. There you go, Katvanga. We're talking about Katvanga moment. Katvango nam Rajrishi Gyat Vayatam Iha Yeshoha Muhuratat Sarvam Utsrajya Gatwan Abhyam Harim. So Katvanga, King Katvanga, Nam, name, Rajrishi, saintly king, Gyatva, by knowing, Yatam, duration, Iha, in this world, Ayusha, of one's life, Muhurtat, within only a moment, Sarvam, everything, Utsrajya, leaving aside, Gatwan, had undergone, Abhyam, fully safe, Harim, the personal Godhead. So the saintly king Katvanga, after being informed that the duration of his life would only be a moment more, at once freed himself from all material activities and took shelter of the supreme safety, the personality of Godhead. So this pastime on King Katvanga. A fully responsible man should always be conscious of the prime duty of the present human form of life. The activities to meet the immediate necessities of material life are not everything. One should always be alert in his duty for attainment of the best situation in the next life. Human life is meant for preparing ourselves for that prime duty. Now Maharaj Katvanga is mentioned herein as a saintly king. So Parikshit Sukadeva Goswami, he is mentioning Maharaj Katvanga. He is giving an example of saintly king Katvanga here. And Srila Prabhupada explaining. So he's been explained to Maharaj Parikshit, give an example of him. He's mentioned here as a saintly king because even within the responsibility of the state management, he was not at all forgetful of the prime duty of life. Such was the case with other Rajrishis, saintly kings, like Maharaj Yudhishthira and Maharaj Parikshit. They were all exemplary personalities on account of them being alert in discharging their prime duty. Maharaj Katvanga was invited by the demigods in the higher planets to fight demons. And as a king, he fought the battles to the full satisfaction of the demigods. The demigods, being fully satisfied with him, wanted to give him some benediction for material enjoyment. But Maharaj Katvanga, or Katvang, being very much alert to his prime duty, inquired from the demigods about his remaining duration of life. This means that he was not as anxious to accumulate some material benediction from the demigods as he was to prepare himself for the next life. He was informed by the demigods, however, that his life would last only a moment longer. The king at once left the heavenly kingdom, which is always full of material enjoyment of the highest standard, and coming down to this earth, took ultimate shelter of the all-safe personality of Godhead. He was successful in his great attempt and achieved liberation. This attempt, even for a moment, by the saintly king, was successful because he was always alert to his prime duty. It's not that, oh, I'll do this at the last minute, I'll remember Krishna, or I'll chant, or say out Narayan on my deathbed or something. No, you have to be mindful throughout your life. Only then you will remember. You'd be so shocked to hear, I'm about to die, or you're going to die in 7 days, or a month, or 3 months, or we might die in our sleep. We don't know, right? So only if you've been mindful all your life, you've been alert to your prime duty, only then you will get that facility. Otherwise you will not get it. Inquired from the demigods about his remaining duration of life. This means that he was not anxious to accumulate some material benediction for demigods, as he was to prepare himself for the next life. He was informed by demigods, however, that his life would last only a moment longer. The king at once left the heavenly kingdom, which is full of material enjoyment. So I'm reading this again. Of the high standard, and coming down to this earth, took ultimate shelter of all safe person God. He was successful in his great attempt and achieved liberation. This attempt, even for a moment, by the saintly king was successful because he was always alert to his prime duty. Maharaj Parikshit was thus encouraged by the great Sukadeva Swami, even though he had only 7 days left in his life, to execute the prime duty of hearing the glories of the Lord in the form of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So, because he had 7 days, Maharaj Katvanga didn't have 7 days, so he had to do what he had to do. Maharaj Parikshit, he had 7 days, so he could hear Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So by the will of the Lord, Maharaj Parikshit instantly met the great Sukadeva Goswami, and the great treasure of spiritual success left by him is nicely mentioned in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam for all of us to cherish and get nourished by. So this 13, Maharaj Katvanga could have asked for any material benefit, but he was concerned about perfecting his life, which was his prime duty, and was conscious of that. So he was always conscious that, this is what I need to achieve. And even that moment was enough for him. Okay, we'll just do 14. Excuse me. Tavapi etrahi koravya saptaham jivata vidhi opkallapya tat sarvam tavad yat samparayikam. So tav yo api also itarahi, therefore Kauravya, one born in the family of Kuru, Saptaham. 7 days, Jivit, duration of life, Avadihi, up to the limit of, Upakalpya, get them performed, that those Sarvamol, Tavat, so long, Yat which are Sampariyakam, rituals for the next life. So Maharaj Parikshit, now your duration of life is limited to 7 more days. So during this time you can perform all those rituals which are needed for the best purpose of your next life. So Shukadeva Goswami, he's a young teenage personality, and yet he knows exactly what's required. Shukadeva Goswami, after citing the example of Maharaj Khatvanga, he prepared himself for the next life within a very short time. Encouraged Maharaj Parikshit by saying that since he still had 7 days at his disposal, so compared to Maharaj Khatvanga, 7 days is a very long time. He could easily take advantage of the time to prepare himself for the next life. Indirectly, the Goswami told Maharaj Parikshit that he should take shelter of the sound representation of the Lord for the 7 days still remaining in the duration of his life, and thus get himself liberated. In other words, everyone can best prepare himself for the next life simply by hearing Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, as it was recited by Shukadeva Goswami to Maharaj Parikshit. The rituals are not formal, but there are also some favorable conditions which are required to be carried out as instructed hereafter. So that's 14. A devotee is never worried about his future or his next life. He is already making arrangement for his future, and also he is confident that Krishna will take care. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, we can best prepare. So, saying, as we always say, that we don't know whether we've got 7 days or 7 minutes, 7 hours. We don't know. Nobody knows when they're going to die. So we are already preparing. We listen to Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. We are prepared. Whether it comes in 7 years, 7 days, 7 minutes, or 20, 30 years, whatever. We are ready. We are prepared, or at least we are preparing. We're not prepared, but we are preparing ourselves for that moment that comes to all of us eventually. It will come. It has come to people before us, and it will come to us. It will come to people after us. It's Mrityu Lok, and Mrityu is guaranteed for us. So we have to be mindful that we make preparation for where we go from here. We are still here, luckily in a human body, but where do we go from here? That is in our hands, right? What's happened before, what's happening after, we can make arrangements on. What's happened before is that is no longer our concern. Now we just take care of where we go from here. Then we can do something. Okay, should we stop here? Okay, we'll stop here then. So we've done 12 to 14. And stop sharing. So we need to do. Okay. So Pundikaksh Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Tandas Pranam. Hope you had a good weekend, Prabhuji.
Very nice weekend, Prabhu. Yeah,
okay. But you are looking somewhat down today, Prabhuji, somehow. You're not looking that active today. Somehow.
I'm looking a bit tired.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might exhausted myself. Yeah.
Okay. Nice, Prabhuji. I mean, these verses are so nice that they can be pinned and read every day, I believe. This has got the main gist. Chanting is the one which is more important. And what's the purpose of human life? And what things you can do to purify your chanting, and what things will actually degrade your chanting. Even though you're chanting, still it will degrade your devotional life. And blaspheming is the one which is the way importantly highlighted by Srila Prabhupada in this purport.
Yeah.
Like apiche su duracharo bhajateva ananya bhak. In that, Prabhupada mentioned that if one becomes a devotee, even because of his nature, if he is performing some mistakes, he should be considered as a sadhu. one should not blaspheme him. But at the same time, Prabhupada also mentioned the purport that one who is chanting and getting purified, that doesn't mean that he can act any way as he want and perform sinful activities. So both ways, it is not good, uh, because that is the one which will degrade your life 100%. Yesterday I was listening to a class by Nitai Sevani Mataji, and she mentioned that when you blaspheme a devotee, you lose your devotion. But at the same time, when you glorify a devotee, you get 0.0001 percentage of their devotion into your devotion. So that's where I thought, like, when you glorify, also you need to understand whom to glorify as well. When you're not glorify for a namesake anybody, but glorify a pure devotee so that you can actually get some devotion from them as well. So, but at the same time, blasphemy should not be done to anybody. Um, that's what it is said. And the prime duty of human life is to, for a given purpose, is to self-realization. I was again hearing a class on Canto 7, where Prabhupada mentioned that if a body is decorated even with 10, 12 qualities of a Brahmana, but if it is not used for devotion service, it is like all these qualities are only like a decoration on the dead body. So if you're not using the body for real purpose, self-realization and understanding the Supreme Lord, then it's of no use. Uh, that's all, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. So, am I looking better now, Prabhu? Because the light was off.
No, still.
Okay. 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 I'll need more rest, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah. So you're saying that don't glorify people unnecessarily.
Yes, Prabhuji. That's what I understand from Mataji's class. Because when you glorify, you are getting their bhakti into you.
Sure.
So if you glorify real devotees, then you can take some amount of their devotion into us.
And if you glorify person that he is not quite there yet, what happens then?
Mataji did not mention that, but I believe, I mean, if you are glorifying for no reason, then from inside you're behaving like a hypocrite only, no, Prabhuji. That's what I think so, because you're glorifying only for your gratification or his gratification, but not for getting anything else as such. But if you're glorifying a real devotee, then you get their devotion also into you.
Absolutely. Very nice, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Okay. Where's our Prabhu? Kiran Prabhu. Yeah, there. Kiran Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everybody. Yes, as always, amazing verses. Hearing the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is the preparation for that inevitable reality of death that will come for all of us. Parikshit, 7 days, and he was listening to the injunctions, the shastras, the guidance that are embedded in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. And this is what it indicated. We're in this auspicious month of Purushottam month. We'll also have Kartik, we have Ekadashi. All these opportunities are for us to magnify and amplify God realization. And these opportunities, we need to be active and consciously be mindful of embracing. And embracing that with consciousness will give us spiritual success. And this is so important because that's the only thing that's important, because even Maharaj Katwanga, who was such a saintly king, revered by the demigods, who vanquished the demons, was only given a moment's notice. And be mindful that we won't even have time to pack a bag to take to the next life. You can't even take a needle. You can't even take anything from the material world to the next plane. So all that you can take is your sadhana, your bhakti, and your pious deeds, your karma. And those will be the only thing that we will be able to take to the next level. And the sound representation of the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is the only salvation we have, as well as the injunctions, the regulative practices, and our chanting. That's the only thing that is our meal ticket. That's our e-ticket. That is our gateway to fast track to divinity. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Wonderful. Hina Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, everyone. Hope you're all well. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. I have been really relishing these verses. I think they cover some of my favourite topics as well, which is great. So the topic around, the quality of your life is more important than the actual length itself. Especially, this really kind of hit home in a culture at the moment where it's all about longevity. Our culture today is about living for many possible years, how to defeat diseases, etc., and live right into live a ripe into the latter years, etc. It's the key thing at the moment. And then the verse 12, I think it was, talks about how death gives like urgency to our practices, our spiritual practice. It's almost like the clock is ticking. And Sukadev Goswami is giving encouragement here to Maharaj Parikshit that you don't need too much time, you don't need decades, you can become serious right now. And we hear how remembrance of the Lord is key. Chanting his holy name is the most easiest and effective way of achieving that goal. And for me personally, this is me telling myself that I shouldn't think that I still have time. I should maximize the time I have each day in as much as I possibly can. And spiritual perfection is possible when we're fully focused on Krishna. So it's about our sincerity and absorption. I think the verses talked about emotion, but that's what it's about. It's about putting your heart into it, being completely absorbed in whatever you're doing, whether you're serving or whether you're chanting, and being completely sincere. And I was thinking, well, if I can be absorbed in so many material pursuits, where I can be absorbed in scrolling on social media or discussing politics, these pointless materialistic things, then I should have the same focus on chanting my rounds, on attentive listening of Krishna Katha, etc. So, and the example of Maharaj Gatvanga, which is so instructive, that he shows practically that it only takes a moment to become realized. So that's the proof really that we've just covered. So I guess we should never really think that it's too late either to make any progress. No, I think what my understanding from these verses is that anyone can transform their life very quickly once you've completely made that decision and a commitment to. I think that was my main points. Thank you so much, Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Madaji. Yeah, absolutely. You talked about absorption. Yeah, that is also a kind of tapasya. Absorption is very important. And like you say, that when you're watching a movie, we can get so absorbed in the movie that we forget everything around us. We forget all our problems. And if you're watching, say, Kiran Prabhu loves cricket, and I think he will agree, when he's watching cricket, India playing, he forgets everything. He's like totally lost in that match. Or if you like football, like World Cup coming up, people be so absorbed in watching that match. So we have that we have the facility available to us that we can get fully absorbed in something, we can get totally lost in something, but we don't do that when it comes to bhakti. And why we don't do that is probably because we haven't really understood the message properly. Now this is Purushottam month, and Krishna says in chapter 15 verse 19 that once you have understood the message, once you have understood who is supreme, then there is nothing more for you to know, and you will just worship him with all your heart. Same in chapter 10.8, Krishna says there that when you know about my, that I'm the source of everything, then you'll worship me with all your heart, with all, bhav, summon with the heart, right? With all your bhav, you'll worship me. It's because we haven't really understood the message properly. We haven't realized the message. We might have heard it, we have not realized the message properly, that we don't get so absorbed as we should. Thank you, Mataji. Parveen Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhupada. Yes, it's like a wake-up call to understand what is the purpose of life and how to value time. I always tell my children, time, if you don't use time properly, value time, otherwise the time will kill you. So I never, acted on that myself, but I think this is like a wake-up call and association of devotees and pure devotees and mercy of Guru Maharaj. I think, and Purushottamas, like we are waking up, we are realizing, like Hinamataji said about absorptions, that's what I'm thinking. We have to absorb sincerely and understand what we're doing, why we're doing, and what is the purpose. So from the examples we've seen, the long life, if it is without Krishna, is not a successful life. So, and even one moment of pure consciousness, understanding the reason why we are here and what is the ultimate destination and where we are going back, is the true use of time. So no point living 100 years. It's like a short time Katwanga had. So rather than asking for any material benediction, he just used that time to be spiritually, elevated, and use that time. And we are very fortunate we've been given chanting Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So this is the preparation, divine, hearing about the divine knowledge. And we mentioned about that verse goes, Ananta Prabhu, he mentioned 18.42, and Pundrikaksh Prabhu mentioned as well the qualities of the Brahmanas. So we have to instill these values and be spiritually, active in the service of Krishna. And again, it's talking about all offenses. First offense, not to blaspheme the devotees, but we don't have to blaspheme anybody, whether it's a devotee or not a devotee, because we're just wasting time. Rather than, because yesterday me and my Prabhu, because I was saying something and he was saying something, and I said, no, we can be just talking about Krishna. So we realize how much time we are wasting talking about just arguing for nothing. So we have to use this time very carefully, because we don't know. Because Parikshit Maharaj was fortunate. He knew he's got 7 days, but we don't know, even if you've got next minute. So we just have to prepare ourselves. And what Kiran Prabhu was talking about, what we're going to take with us. The thought came to me, like a mother prepares a bag to go to hospital to have the baby. So we have to prepare our bags as well in the same way. Keep it ready, because don't know when we'll have to go. And the bag is what we're learning from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and chanting. That is the only thing that we'll take with us. And a question came to me, Prabhuji, when you said, we don't have to cut anybody's tongue or commit suicide. And you said, we understand this is life given by Krishna for the service of Krishna. And then you said, we don't want to finish this body, we need this body to go back. So what does happen to people who commit suicide? So what happens the gross body is finished and the subtle body?
Yeah, so I mean, this is like a big topic, but all I can tell you is that
Yeah, sometime you can say.
yeah.
Yeah.
So when you commit suicide, then you don't have a body anymore, but you're still around, right? You're
Mm.
still here, and I think you have to stay until, like, say, commit suicide at 50, and you were supposed to live till 70, for example. So 20 years, I think you'll be sort of hovering around. If you, yeah. So yeah, so that's called a ghost, right? And but if if Krishna may be merciful and help you, do something for you, but yeah, you basically be hovering around for that duration of time, and without a body, and then you probably wish you had a body, so you could do
Yeah,
something.
yeah. But do they live like around where they lived, or do they go somewhere else?
Where they live.
Yeah, yeah. Like, yes, around their house or some, wherever they were living. Yeah.
I'm not sure, Madhuri, where they live.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
mean,
No,
people say
I
sometimes
don't
they
know
live
whether
in
you.
trees, and like they find somewhere, where they can sort of hide. They can live in trees, and maybe some vacant places. I mean, the
Mm.
houses have been. Some houses are known to be haunted,
Haunted. Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. So they find places,
Empty
like
space.
somebody been murdered or something like that, died before their time. They become ghosts, and they are living in certain places. I think it varies, but they definitely don't live where the holy name is mentioned. So at least that is a good thing. We chant the holy name,
Yes.
it
Yeah.
drives
Yeah.
away the ghosts. So I
Mm.
like I said, I'm not. To be honest, I don't want to know too much about
Okay,
it.
that's fine.
I,
Because
I
normally,
can be,
yeah,
quite
yeah, yeah. No, it just came
scare
the thought
myself.
came. Yeah. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Yeah. Okay. So Ajay Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes, interesting verses. I think the general theme is Sarvadharma Pratyaja Mamekam Saramja Hamtam Surabhakya Mokshisham Shujaha. Just abandon all righteous religion, surrender unto me. Krishna telling you that you will deliver from all sinful reactions. It sounds very simple, but we struggle to do it. But Maharaj Kritamanga showed that if you have understood what devotional service is all about, you actually understood what is the purpose of life. If you are alert to the purpose of life, then you can surrender straight away. And he did, and he fantastic, it's amazing. It's just he did his duty, protected the demigods, but didn't get distracted by any material foolishness, and then went back to Godhead. It's just like what inspirational, just like Maharaj Parikshit, just inspirational. Just it is very much possible. Just we get distracted, and that's the problem. So yeah, it's important that we absorb ourselves as much as possible in the holy name, in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam.
Mm.
That's typically, that's what's the recommendation. And obviously, there's also deity worship there as well. Especially the form of Shri Radha Krishna. That's so it's considered, if you have, which we all have to some extent. We have unless we are completely purified, we have some anarthas. We have some attraction to the material world that we need to deal with. This will cure us of that. We just need to actually just take that association. That's usually the issue. We keep making excuses. We try don't actually delve deeper into the subject matter. Or if you just say if you're doing deity worship, then you need to probably raise your standard. Try and actually understand what it is that you're trying to do. How can you actually please the Lord in your service? And then chanting, how can you please the Lord with your chanting? Obviously, the example there's the 10 offenses that, it's giving you the clue that avoid these, then you will have that connection, which is what Krishna wants from you. He wants that connection. You just need to actually pay a bit more attention, put a bit more effort into your chanting. And yes, so it is very much possible. We just need to actually understand the process better, and that's why we take association with devotees, take association with the gurus, and then we can get better in our bhakti and yes, try and get back to Godhead. Very strong.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Radharani?
Hare Krishna, everyone. My pranams to all of you. Yes, rightly said. We have to be alert to our primary duty, like Khatwang Maharaj, which is to be conscious of Krishna consciousness all the time. And this is the only purpose of our life. Everything else is illusion. We have to just hammer that into our consciousness all the time. And very easy to preach, but I was just thinking that if we will be told you've got one moment, I don't think this will register in our heads that, oh, one moment to realize God. One moment, we will need more than a moment to register what's being told to us, that this is going to happen to you. So it is very serious, it's not a joke, and it's very easy to think that, oh, I am going to be able to do this because Maya is all around us. You do one thing, Maya gives you 100 tests, and then you have got the material body that is needed for getting out of this world. But the material body is the thing which gives you lots of troubles as well. So it is a very, very serious thing. We have to be serious about it. Just understand the purpose and do the 4 regulative principles properly, because we have to do everything else also in life. We can't just say that, yes, I'm just going to do the sadhana bhakti and that's it. For maintaining the body, for maintaining the household, for maintaining everything else, you need to do so much else as well. So yes, we have to do our best. And like Prabhupada says, he is going to do the magic if we will give our best for us. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you all so much. That was a wonderful insight. So yeah, so we have to be careful what we say and do. Don't get caught up in the heat of the moment, so easily done. And be mindful of our prime duty and do our best. Use our emotions as well in the service of the Lord, not just mechanically. And maybe we'll be successful. Thank you. Kanshrashi Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Yeah.
Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.
Hare Hare Bol.
So Wednesday, there's no session like this in the morning. We'll have second part of Canto 1 with Prabhu, Gauranath Raj Prabhu. So look forward to seeing you all then. Hari Bol. Hari.
Hari
Bol.
Bol.
Very
Hare
cool.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.